Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Looking for some hot takes on the Lodgecast. I need phone counts and library rights. I want some hot takes in my eardrums. Watch out for salad dragons. These takes are coming in hot tonight. I want some hot takes. I need your hot takes.
Hello and welcome to a Nicolas Cage-erific episode of Hot Takes. I'm your Lodgecast. With me as always is Brother Bishki.
How's it done?
We got Brother Lucas in the way back.
Happy birthday!
And because Brother Lucas is in the way back, you know we have a stacked cast. We got Lodge Mistress Milster.
Hey.
We got returning champion Brother Justin.
Well, hello.
And we got Sister Brandy's back.
Woo, feeling uncaged.
We saw Longlegs.
Mommy Longlegs.
Longlegs. And oh man, it's summer in Burbank and there's a lot of people in there beating the heat.
Yeah.
And it's not even discount night.
It was packed.
Yeah. I think they were showing a test screening of G2,
Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2, because all the cell phones were in bags outside in the hallway.
There's a lot of people there. But also, Longlegs ain't no slouch. It's been getting a lot of buzz. It's a buzzy horror movie, which is dangerous because people catch on to the buzz. They're like, oh my God, there's something scary going on? Oh, is there a chance we could get scared? And then they fill the theaters. What do they see, though? What do they witness? Do they get scared? I don't know. We are down in P3, and Bishki forgot to bring up the schnapps on Rotten Tomatoes.
Omniscient schnapps.
So Bishki's going to call in from the future with the Longlegs schnapps. Take it away, future Bishki.
From Rotten Tomatoes.
In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. Period.
Speaking of buzz and the title Longlegs, which I knew nothing about this
You
film.
knew nothing.
And I literally thought this was going to be about spiders. Like, I came in thinking it was spiders.
We keep tricking you with Madam Web.
But
you thought it was going to be an old period piece. Now Longlegs, you think it's going to be some spiders.
I did, but that is not what we saw.
There's no spiders in this. There's no spiders in baseball.
Wait, there was a bug that crawled under the door that Maika Monroe
That's true.
stared at.
That might have been Longlegs. So
It was directed by Oz Perkins,
Osgood,
who did a little movie called Gretel and Hansel.
Oh, we've already covered an
Which-
Oz production.
I believe Lodge Mistress was there for that one.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I really loved the work on her hands. The witch's hands were very cool in
Yeah,
that.
we had some good vibes for that one.
The only thing I remember about Gretel and Hansel was that I accidentally left the edge on the entire
babe.
time with the doors unlocked.
That could really
And
end.
our recorder exposed and all of our microphones. It was running.
They probably thought somebody was in there sleeping.
Yeah, they probably thought it was a trap. It was a trap
Yeah.
call.
Oh, thank God. Anyway, Osgood Perkins is back, y'all. And
Son of Anthony Perkins, good old Oz.
yeah.
Oh, good reminder, Bishki.
And the buzz around this movie, I assume, because I was avoiding it like Neo with bullets, I think the buzz has to be Nicolas Cage's involvement.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage plays the titular Longlegs, and the movie really doesn't want you to get a good look at him for a while.
A good hour, yeah.
Yeah.
This is strategic on multiple levels because you're just kind of like, you don't know what this movie has in store for a long time.
This movie gave us a solid 45 minutes to forget that the movie Mask with Eric Stoltz exists.
Oh my God, so true, Justin. Oh, no.
I mean, what did you guys think during the first 45 or so?
Woo.
I didn't get a read on anybody. I think Lucas is upset, but I couldn't tell anybody else.
I heard a sigh from the back.
Yeah, I was pretty bored in the first 45. I was like, well, what? I mean, at first, no, I wasn't bored. I was like, wait a second, time out, stop. She's a psychic detective? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I think I heard Millie laugh at that. And I was like, amen, sister.
I think Millie was laughing with delight because she's kind of half psychic and her superior officer is like, well, half psychic's better than no psychic.
She's half psychic, half awake.
And she's playing it like she's got indigestion and heartburn the whole movie.
Yeah. The way she breathed, I think they were trying to up the tension, but I was kind of hyperventilating just listening to her. It's just like anytime she does anything, it's...
I thought, listen, I will weigh in.
Weigh in, please.
Psychic I was like, how, this is what I was intrigued because I love a little psychic anything, but I was like, how are they going to pull this off? Like, I mean, if this is going to be FBI supernatural,
yeah,
I'm in, but like, is it really going to work?
You're going to get flashes of snakes hissing every once in a while.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
what
is
you're
this
going to get.
really going to work?
Oof.
But we'll get there.
I did like that they clearly delineated the past and the present by changing the aspect ratio and having.
You would like that.
I would like that. It's like 16 millimeter film, but it could have been really like needlessly confusing if they didn't do that.
When the movie opened and it was in 4:3 with the little rounded corners,
yeah,
I was like, oh, are we going to have to deal with this
it got a
hipster
little
bullshit the whole movie? And then it gradually got wider.
I knew they were going to widen it
I
out.
like that. That red expanding across the screen, I thought looked great.
I have no problem with the visual tone of this film. I mean, it's clearly aping a little movie called Silence of the Lambs.
Just a bit.
And in extension, a little movie called Mind Cage came to mind quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially when Nicolas Cage, Daddy Longlegs, comes on the scene. He had a very Malkovichian quality to him. But yeah, let's tease that out a little bit longer, just like the movie did. We won't completely comment on Mr. Cage's performance just yet.
But how was everybody else feeling in the first 45?
I mean, the first 45 was like, it was like if Wes Anderson got assigned to
that's exactly what I thought. In the bedroom with the girl, I was like, this is Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
Like,
It looked
serial
like it
killer.
then.
and it's not like the fun Wes Anderson. It's like it's like the Wes Anderson where he just kind of drains the fun out of it, and it's just like this is like could have been Mindhunter or Seven or Silence of the Lambs, but it's really he pulls back all the fun out of that genre, and it's really boring.
It felt like something that we would have covered during quarantine. Something about it felt almost student feature. It's like almost.
No.
It's almost.
It looks too good.
It looks too good, but when you think about what really just happened, like what you just saw, like the nutrients involved, it's like Nicolas Cage was like, I'm going to pick a class at a random college and I'm going to produce their movie. That's what it felt like to me.
God, I fucking wish that happened.
I know. And then I started thinking about, why doesn't he fucking do that at this point?
I would watch that.
I'm gonna give you a little more love and light than that. That first 45, I was pretty intrigued by what was happening on the screen. And I thought it rode a fine line between scary and silly.
Yes,
which
we
I
must
think is
speak of
kind
this
of
fine
where you
line.
need to live sometimes.
Sometimes.
Objectively, like Freddy Krueger is silly as fuck. But if you're the right age,
right,
that'll stick with you. You know what I mean?
Well, Freddy got silly over time. Mr. Longlegs is silly from the jump.
Freddy with them long ass arms in Nightmare on Elm Street 1. And
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
There's silliness from the get.
A
He
little
gets
bit,
more like,
but he's not doing
Bugs
one-liners.
Bunny.
No.
Yeah.
This dude is basically tap dancing. It is right on the edge, though. And for the first 45, they're kind of smart to not fully expose all that Longlegs is. Because, damn it, my view of the whole thing changed once we got a full shot of him. But up until then, you do ride that line, and I want to call it the Bye Bye Man line, because whoever made Bye Bye Man thought that Bye Bye Man was a scary thing to say and a scary thing to think about. But when you watch it, and when the internet watched it, they quickly turned it into the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
And I was getting Pee Pee Poo Poo Man vibes, and I was hoping it wasn't going to go that way. I was really hoping. And about, 45 or so minutes in,
Across the pee pee poo poo line.
I just checked out when she gets to her cabin, which was reminding me a bit of Twin Peaks. Yeah. She's in her like her house, I guess.
A no curtain cabin.
her weird house.
Yeah. And she psychically hears when he's around, because she hears whispers in her head.
That's all that fucking happens in the first 45 minutes. She hears something that's just like, whoa.
And she looks out the window and we see a shadowy silhouette. So instead of grabbing a flashlight, she grabs her gun and goes
outside.
Like any law enforcement officer would have a flashlight with their sidearm to go out and investigate, because you're obviously gonna want to blind your suspect as you shoot at them. But then when she comes back in her house, Nicolas Cage has left her a letter,
and then she just goes back to work.
Yeah, she just okay, I'm safe here. I'm gonna not call it in.
She doesn't check the house. She doesn't
time for backup.
There's no time for backup, and she starts just decoding it. Daddy Longlegs speaks in riddles and leaves strange riddles, and it is intriguing when you're getting letters in code and you're decoding them and all that. There was a little bit of humor when she was talking to her boss's daughter, and it was kind of funny how stoic she was, playing off this childlike innocence. I think it could have used a little bit more of that. If the movie would have been a little more knowingly funny in places, or just let a little bit of air in, I think when Longlegs reveals himself, I would have swallowed that a little bit easier. But it's so serious.
Those little moments really let the air out of it in a good way, though.
Yeah.
Because you're things are tense. Whether you're with the movie or not, there's a tension that I think is undeniable. And those moments help a lot. When they were, what Lee and her boss, who was a SVU caliber law enforcement official.
Yes.
Go to an insane, the standard go to an insane asylum to talk to someone scene.
Yeah.
But they're talking to the administrator.
That was good.
Yeah.
And they ask him if they ask for ID when people visit, and he just goes, "That sounds like a good idea. Unfortunately, we don't do that here."
There was a little bit of
Fucking
applause in the back when he came on, so I imagine he was at the theater. Somebody who knew him was there.
I mean, he kind of stole the movie.
Yeah, he
did.
Kind of did.
It was good.
That's why I love Burbank. It's because you never know what random character is in the audience with you. So good. The movie turned for me a little bit when they went to this farmhouse and dug up this doll
At night.
Man. Life-size young girl doll.
I thought it was going to be booby trapped and it was going to spit out a bunch of shrapnel or something, but that's just my paranoid brain.
Yeah.
There's too
many pearls on the string.
Too many pearls and yet not enough.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know.
I don't. It's hard to explain.
Listen, here's the problem. You call it Longlegs, but the real horror of it are these dolls.
Yeah.
It doesn't work plot-wise, I think, because the dolls come in too late. And it doesn't build on Longlegs.
Right.
Because as it's revealed in the end, he isn't really even necessary.
Is that why he's called Longlegs? Is because he has long legs that make these murders happen?
Should be long arms?
But he's maybe long arms and legs.
Yeah, because he's got the reach.
He's like, I'm long. He says something about long legs at the beginning.
I wore my long legs.
And he leaves these letters why? He doesn't really do anything. I don't know.
It almost seemed like the movie was getting bored with certain tropes where it's we're going to start with this coded writing. And then it's like, Never mind.
Let's try this
but
doll
what if
thing.
there were scary dolls?
And the dolls look cool.
What if the dolls had a chrome ball in their head?
Yes, a phantasm
Oh,
ball
yeah.
I love
that
that.
you can control them with.
I love
like
that.
all
where
over the
like
fucking
weird
place.
like pathologist is like, watch this. When I like put a microphone to it, it like hums or something.
And it says the name of my ex-wife.
It
Yeah,
really too many things.
and it incapacitated our heroine at the end. I didn't understand
Yeah.
how she passed out. Was it
Bishki,
the
what were
doll
you going to
ball?
say?
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball here.
Yeah.
That in the third act, the illogicness, the illogicalness of the plot
Yeah.
somehow turned on me, and I kind of got sucked into it.
Oh, shit.
And I kind of, it's almost like, it's not Lynch quality.
Longlegs got to you?
It's not.
I knew he got to
The
you.
It's
trickster
not,
demon.
It's not
Payman
Lynch
is at
quality
work here.
like Lost Highway, like illogical, but it turns into kind of a nightmare where you're getting all these elements from various Silence of the Lambs
Yeah,
type
Mind Cage.
films, Mind Cage type films, but they're not connecting,
No.
and it's just becomes this kind of nightmare of cliches,
Yeah.
and it somehow weaved a little spell on me
Oh,
by the end of the
That's
film.
great.
You have a ball in your head.
Yeah, there's
don't
a
you?
ball.
Yeah,
He
and-
put that ball in your
Bishki
head.
ball.
And I have love and light for Nick Cage. I think
Sure.
for what it was worth,
Ugh.
I do support this performance.
So I heard you groaning, Bishki. I could have sworn.
I
that was me.
exhaled a
That was
couple
me.
no, the
times.
first hour I was bored out of my freaking mind.
Yeah.
But somehow.
Let's talk about Longlegs, shall we? The
Yes.
man, the myth, the
Oh,
legend.
yeah.
His makeup.
It is white pancake makeup.
Sometimes it's white. Sometimes it's not.
I mean, his basement layer is clearly modeled after
Oh yeah.
Buffalo,
Buffalo
Bill.
Bill.
Yes. And in extension, Martin Lawrence's domain at the end of Mind Cage.
What about Red Dragon? I thought Red Dragon was
Sure.
pretty.
It's all in there.
Yeah, it's like kind of
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
mix
But
too.
he looks completely wild. He looks like
Feral.
the jigsaw, the little jigsaw man.
Mixed with mask. I think
Mixed
that
with
Justin
mask.
is right. It does
Justin's
look like
right.
with Tiny Tim.
Mixed with Tiny Tim.
Like you got to throw Tiny Tim in that.
Yes.
Remember the
And
villain in the movie Curtains with the sickle?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
curtains
Oh.
mask.
He was giving me vibes of who's that guy that sits courtside at the Lakers games?
Yeah, with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
that
that
guy.
dude.
It's like Cage in Dream Scenario was masterful because he didn't push it. He knew he didn't need to push it too because the writing was better, but he didn't go full Cage. This one, he starts at like level 15 Cage and only goes up. And it's like Cage straining on the pot a little bit. Like he's just going buck wild.
It's fun to watch for
It's
me.
fun to watch, but is it scary? Like scenes, he would be like, "Sha-da-da-da-da-da, Longlegs," and then it would like cut to black, and it's like, is that scary? Like,
The whole time I couldn't decide if that was pitch perfect casting or he was
no,
the last person that should have been cast in that role.
I think it's the latter. I really think
Maika
it's
Monroe
bad.
was miscast
I do.
because
Yeah.
she's 31, but she looks 20. So I was like, gosh, I really just don't buy her in this role. Like, just doesn't work for me.
Maybe
I
they
did
wanted
like-
her to look like an inanimate doll, though, because she kind of did.
She's a little dull.
They wanted her to look like Kate Winslet in Mayor of Easttown,
Yeah.
but she's
Well,
too young.
I thought Alicia Witt as her mom was good casting because she was a perfect age where
Yeah.
you didn't have to digitally de-age her as a younger
Right.
woman. You didn't have to put too much old makeup on her as an older woman.
But she's another hat on a hat on a hat. So get this, listener. This movie's about Longlegs. Spoiler alert. Dangerous spoilers. He may or may not be a killer. We find out he's more of a Manson figure who, as it turns out, imbues a ball with his evil and puts it into a doll. So there's a ball in the doll.
And did he get the ball at that hardware store where he's like buying shit from a teenager?
Think he did.
I guess so.
I mean, that's
Throw
a good
logic
question.
out the window, folks. This is a
And
night
so-
one.
I want to know more about the ball.
There's
I mean, the ball in the doll
There's
was
a ball
cool.
in the doll. And then they catch old Longlegs. They catch him. And he says, the man in the basement, you could call him Mr. Basement, is the one you want. And
Mr. Downstairs.
Mr. Downstairs.
The man downstairs.
The man downstairs. You can call him Mr. Downstairs. Which I'm like, wait, what? Now there's Longlegs working with Mr. Downstairs. Mr. Downstairs ends up being her fucking mom, who takes the doll to the family and sits with the family and the doll while the doll whispers to the dad of the family and makes him kill the whole family. That's too much. That's too
No, don't
much.
forget that the kid has a birthday.
And it all has to. Why didn't they call him the birthday man?
And how come like the kid didn't have a birthday party? How's it just like the parents and their kid?
It all has to do with birthday parties. It reminded me of the birthday party in Smile.
I thought of Smile. I totally thought of Smile.
that
I
fucking
hated
kid.
Smile, but I thought Smile.
I wish
was
we
even
could
better than this.
import the doll from this movie into that movie so the doll kills all those people and leaves these nice people alone.
And then we do an Avengers team up with Annabelle
And Megan.
V Longlegs
and Timmy
Yep.
from Jigsaw.
Bring on in Megan.
X
Wheels in.
Jigsaw.
Is it Timmy? I don't remember.
I think it's Timmy. Yes. Bishki, what were you thinking when you were getting seduced by Longlegs?
It'll come out in my trickster bone.
Oh, Jesus. Well, Longlegs, once he kills him, he just bashes his head against the table, which at this point I was so out of it that I was pissed that the spatter from his complete brain smash hit the entire wall, hit her clavicle, but did not touch her white shirt at all.
And that's where your head was at during the movie. So that's a little indication as to how well things were going.
That's a bad sign.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Now, we were in row BO
Oh my God!
at this
Seriously.
theater.
Oh, so bad.
How much were the smells and the sounds?
Oh man!
And the AC wasn't pumping either.
I've got a
wasn't
grievance. There was a guy sitting in front of Bishki and I drinking a Slurpee, and
Yeah.
he was like banging it like Rain
Yes,
Man
it was-
on his armrest. To,
It
like,
was an
loosen up the
OCD.
sludge.
It was an OCD thing where he kept like bump, bump, bump. And I thought, is Longlegs knocking at the door? No, it's this dude with his cup.
No, it was that was probably a free investor connect Slurpee too,
yeah.
you know.
And there was a guy behind
Right
us, behind us.
Motherfucker.
I mean, it was like the most silent movie. They
Yes.
were really trying to build the silence, and it was like crinkle, crinkle,
he
crinkle,
picked
crinkle.
the times when she was
Crinkle,
creeping
crinkle,
around,
crinkle,
and he had the crinkliest. I don't know what that
he
was.
had to have brought it from home. There's nothing that crinkles like that that they
No.
sell.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He brought that from offsite.
It's like the Metallic
parchment
Brothers
paper.
original.
He's like unwrapping it to pull out single candy corns.
I mean,
like, one at a time.
It was something like that. It was so
And
distracting.
I almost turned around and I almost said, dude, dump it out. Dump it out, dude.
I was so scared you were going to say something.
I know. I was
turning around and
But
giving
like
the stink
to not
eye.
have the self-awareness to like
Oh, I
wait for a
know.
loud part.
Oh.
the exorcism gave me a little courage. So I was about to speak my piece.
Yeah,
But
the
then-
sights and smells were.
But then Nicolas Cage was just doing his thing, and I'm like, it's not. There's that point where you're like, is it worth it to maybe get in a gunfight here? And it's not. Tonight it was not.
He gets shot over popcorn.
Get shot over Longlegs.
God, he just looks so ridiculous. I mean, his makeup was so bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was distractingly bad.
Like a bad nose job.
He takes you out of the movie.
He reminded me,
Takes you out.
even more than any of these other influences, he reminded me of, from the Mighty Boosh, old Greg. He had such an old Greg quality. And if you're listening to this and you don't know what that means, YouTube it. Old
Yes.
Greg.
Speaking of YouTube and old things, Nicolas Cage reminded me of that Silverchair music video, like where it's like, you better wait till tomorrow, fat boy. And there's like that weird pig man like running around.
Oh God.
Well,
Yeah.
it did take place during the 90s.
It did.
Yes.
It was a period piece.
Because you could see
Bill Clinton.
Okay,
Which
I
was
want
No
to
cell phones. That means there's no internet.
I want to call out one thing that I thought was fucking great.
Yeah.
So when you see FBI, any kind of law enforcement offices, they have a picture of the president, right?
Yeah.
So you instantly know at least there's a 4 to 8 year window.
Yeah, there's a
that movie
range.
takes place. In a farmhouse, just to let you know it was the 70s,
Yeah.
they had a picture of Richard Nixon they're like, you know what? It's not an FBI office, but fuck it. Picture of Richard Nixon would really put this in the time frame we needed.
And that picture of Nixon just watches as the dad kills the entire family with an axe.
Yeah. I thought that was a great little detail.
I thought some of the kills were disturbing. I mean, the axe kill, most of the kills got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Between moments of boredom.
Well, that's something that can be said. Anybody else have any Longlegs thoughts before we delve deep into the basement? All right, let's go to Longlegs Bones. All right, who do we start with? Well, Bishki's a shining jewel that we need to polish a little bit longer here. Let's go to Sister Brandy. You were first to bone.
First to bone.
On the spot.
You're going to set the table.
I know, it's so hard. Okay, I'm going to set the bloody table at 2 bones.
Give her 2.
Right in, I like it.
Utah, give me 2.
I'll give it 2. I am not a huge Cage fan.
Oh, shit.
As a rule.
How can you even say that?
I
He's
mean,
been
Mandy,
in like 500 movies.
Mandy was incredible, and that like really shut me up for a while.
But now you're back.
Was good.
Like shut me up. This one might open my mouth a little bit more, but I mean, I don't know what he was asked to do, and I don't know what he brought to the table.
I think, well, he's the producer.
All of it.
So he did whatever the fuck he wanted.
So it was everything. It was all him on a plate. Yeah, there was a little bit of over the top stuff, but looking back on it, I kind of did want a little more.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him to pop up a little bit more. And may I say, when they finally did reveal it, I thought it was a little underwhelming. Like it was just
when
some
they revealed
girl.
him?
Yeah. Because I was like, yeah, it's just some girl in a hardware store. And he's like doing some weird like peekaboo thing with her. And she's like, Dad, that weird guy's back. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's a regular? And no one has called the FBI already? Like this guy's in here like buying stuff and looking like that and acting like that to your daughter. I liked it. I'm going to put this in a category of thriller more than horror. Because I think horror like inherently has more fun. And this one is way more like Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, you know, like
Mind Cage.
Yeah, like messing with your head. And I think that's what I'm going to take away from it is the bizarreness of it.
Right down the middle for Brandy.
2.
Lodge, Mr. Smilster.
Well, there were some really great things about this movie. I thought it looked awesome. There were some great shots, I thought. I mean, for me, it was really riveting. I liked looking at it. It was very stark, which it could have used, you know, more levity. And I do think that, you know, Cage and the main actress were in different movies. Like when they had their scene together, it was awful because she was like acting like she was really scared of him and, you know, doing a good job, but like he wasn't scary. He was absurd.
It was funny.
You know, I mean, but there were cool, disturbing things in this movie, you know? And then the other part I thought about was now who was the girl in the insane asylum? Was that Sabrina Teen Witch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kiernan Shipka from Mad Men.
Yes. That was an interesting scene.
I was going to turn to you and say, is that good acting?
Well, I don't... It was like the accent.
I'm sure to do.
Yeah, it was like...
I'm sure to do.
She wasn't pulling off the character.
Right.
The way that it was written.
Somebody could have really dug into that.
Yeah, she was like articulating everything, but I did think that could have been a really creepy scene.
Yeah.
Like, I do think there was some good dialogue in this. You know what I mean? Like, it was a little overwrought sometimes, but... This did have a lot of potential. It just had too many ideas.
Yeah.
It will definitely get me thinking, and I feel like it will inspire some things in me. I'm going to give it 2.5.
2.5, all that love and light. Just a 0.5 above Brandy. Let's see. LT in the way back. We need some fire and brimstone here.
I'm a friend of a friend of a friend from someone at church.
See, that's going to haunt my dream.
That's scary.
Yours was way scarier.
Yeah, so I remember seeing the first teaser trailer for this film and thought Neon did a great job marketing it because they told you literally nothing. You didn't even know Nicolas Cage was in it.
That's the buzz. Yeah.
It just gave you like a Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, Zodiac vibe. And I knew it was period. And I know Oz Perkins is a good aestheticist. Like, he really knows visual grammar and lighting schemes and like the form. He knows how to frame a shot. But like all these guys,
big throat clear.
He thinks he's a writer. He thinks he's like God's gift to us screenwriters. And has no concept of like characters or story or pacing or like. I mean, can we even talk about like the opening where she somehow has a bad feeling about her partner getting murdered, but she doesn't warn him, and they're going door to door,
and then she doesn't call any back
on an unrelated case, and then her partner gets shot in the head at this house that she's like to the side of, but she stands against the window, and I'm like, couldn't the perpetrator just shoot through the glass? Like, am I the only one pointing out the obvious? And you're supposed to like make this seem like real FBI or something? I don't know. I was just bad writing, and unfortunately like the press for this movie like has like it started creeping into my feed.
Yeah, me too.
So I saw some headline.
It was like Maika Monroe when she first saw Nicolas Cage.
Or Nicolas Cage is playing his mom, and I'm like, oh great! Like, I know he plays like effeminate something now. Like, cool, thanks internet. Like, I didn't even click that link; it just popped up. So I'm glad they kind of opened with him in that 4:3 frame, because I was like, all right, at least the cat's out of the bag, like at the very top.
The Nick's out of the cage.
And yeah, so for those first 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, yeah, giving the film the benefit of the doubt. But then like the guy in front of me checked his phone at like 8 p.m., which was like 30 minutes after the movie started, 1 hour after the preview started. And I was like, great, I've got another hour and 10 minutes of this shit. Like, this is going nowhere. This is boring. I was dying. Like, I was thinking of Smile. Like, I was like, how is Smile a better movie than this? And I think doesn't Smile also have the face smash on the table where someone just like keeps smashing their face over and over?
Definitely seen it before.
Have we seen that like a million times?
Do that now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Maika Monroe just playing at one note, like just like trying to like, not cry. So when she finally does cry, like it doesn't even matter anymore because it feels like she's been crying and sniffling and whining the whole movie.
How many bones?
Ugh.
Any bone? Are there any bones?
I will give this one bone for the psychic detective angle.
One long bone.
And nothing else for no one else. Not even a half a bone for Nicolas Cage, because he was just totally miscast and just like, in a different movie. And it was ridiculous and embarrassing seeing what he was doing.
A whole bone? Wow.
Wow.
That's kind of impressive.
Wow. Listener, if you ever get the invite to be on this podcast, take it, because the Lucas bone count in person in the Edge,
there's nothing like
really you can't replicate it.
You can't.
I mean, I know you're hearing it and you're getting the vibe, but man,
but when you're in the space,
ooh, can't beat it.
Can you beat his bone count?
If we're talking about from low to high, yes,
sure.
Yes,
Okay,
I can.
Okay,
but there's something. I think I brought this up on Bodies.
Oh shit!
And I
forgot about that.
I did too in a lot of ways. That wasn't bad. But I have this feeling that we're watching movies that would be appreciated so much more if we hadn't seen the 200 movies that inspired it.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's almost like we're all about the same age in this car. Like when you first heard like early to mid 90s hip hop, and some boomer probably came up to you and went, that's just a ripoff of Stevie Wonder. And you're like, shut up, you're old. This rules. And it does.
Yeah, it's like it is like sampling. It's like sampling.
It does, and you can enjoy it because you don't know that someone just stole it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this movie isn't a direct ripoff of anything.
But it's a direct ripoff of everything.
It's a grab bag of so many things that it's impossible for it to feel new.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's our fault per se for having a free subscription to Tubi. But I bet this would really hit hard if you were 14.
Yeah.
And hadn't seen Silence of the Lambs. This would blow your fucking mind.
It's like Challengers is the most erotic thriller you've ever seen if you've never seen anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredibly sad. And that statement makes me think the population will dwindle in the near future.
Yes. Sexless.
So having said that, I mean, I was kind of into it for a while. I thought the vibe was good. The look was good. The overacting, I think, could work in a slightly different movie, but it was just too much of a grab bag of different ideas that I couldn't really sink my teeth into any one one
like you said, the movie got bored with itself.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Which is
Really
weird to
good.
see.
You know, I almost like admire that in a weird way, because like I'm one of the few people on planet Earth seemingly who didn't like Zodiac, the David Fincher movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
It was just, it's like all these codes and we don't actually know who it was, and it was just so fucking slow. And you're just like, I'm not interested in fucking codes. Like, it could say drink your Ovaltine at the end for all I care. I don't give a shit. So
Chilling.
I'm kind of happy that it started with that and just gave it up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. I think I'm in the boat with Lodge Mistress. This is a 2.5 bone movie. If I was 14, this would probably be around 3 bones. But I'm not, so it ain't.
Not quite. Just a hair over 14. All right, Brother Bishke, tell us of your seduction.
Yeah, this movie did creep me out for one particular reason.
You scared?
For one particular reason. Today is my nephew's 9th birthday.
No! He's not safe. He's not safe.
Did a nun
It's the
visit him with a doll?
17th.
I FaceTimed him earlier today, and I need to check in now.
You
It's
need
a
to
large
check.
brown
There was a
box.
nun in the backyard.
But it's
in the
within,
background.
it's within 6 days of the 14th.
It
so.
really tripped me out. It really tripped me out that the whole thing was based around a 9-year-old's birthday. But yeah, the first hour, I was very bored. I was very much on Lucas's wavelength.
Yep.
And it's very rare that if I'm out of a movie that long, it's very rare they can bring me back in.
It's like if you don't breathe for a certain amount of time, your brain goes dead.
Yeah, but it was something to do with Cage and something to do with
when he's saying happy birthday.
The plot.
Happy birthday.
The plot just didn't make any sense, and
Bishke's nephew.
And I felt like Oz started playing with the genre in terms of it, just throwing in the cliches at you, but not trying to put all the pieces together. And it kind of turned into a nightmare for me. And so, but I'm with a few of the people in the back. 2.5 bones. I mean,
2.5. Wow.
All's well that ends well. I'm not going to go like crazy on this. Like it was very dull and because it was taking itself seriously for a long time, and then I thought it somehow found its way into my brain.
Well, that's a spooky little story, Bishke.
Yeah,
2.5.
Yeah, and pray for my nephew.
Yes.
Got the
Oh
nephew
my
bump.
God.
He doesn't go for boys.
Right. He doesn't go for boys, so he's fine.
That's
Yet.
true.
Yet. All right. Well, I am loving all the love and light. I don't think it deserves all that. I was really not impressed by much, but I liked how it looked. It's kind of like the crowd was excited at the beginning, and at the end, nothing. It ended nothing. And that's kind of, I was right there with them. I'm like, yeah, you're damn right, crowd. There's nothing, there's no clapping you need to do.
No, wait, one person clapped, and I think it was the guy who was in it.
Yes, I think you're right.
It does have a C+ cinema score.
Yes,
so, yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
But it did bring to mind a dark memory.
You gonna talk more about Mind Cage?
No.
Do we all have to fucking see Mind
You
Cage
do,
again?
yes, but
You
no.
gotta see part of it.
I'm not going to speak of Mind Cage anymore. But there was a time many years ago in which I laid down and took a nap. And when I woke up, at the foot of my bed was placed a small mannequin of a girl with its arms outstretched. And Justin and Bishke had said it there while I was asleep.
That's fucked up.
And I tell you this, when I opened my eyes and saw that girl with hands outstretched, I screamed and screamed and screamed. Nothing in the world has ever been scarier than that moment in my life.
I'll remember it till the day I die.
I didn't know I was involved.
You were there.
Okay.
I have pictures of you guys right after.
Okay.
With the fucking mannequin.
Your screams built up so perfectly. They started, it was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
It got scarier and scarier even after I realized what was happening. That's when it got, because I'm like, how? And why? That was 100% scarier than Longlegs. And my mind just drifted into that. So for that, Longlegs is worth one bone, but just for bringing up that memory, I'll give it a little Brother Ben bump up to 1.5.
It's a Brother Ben bump, y'all.
You're welcome, Osgood Perkins.
welcome, Osgood. Oh man, Cage,
keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't I know.
Stop.
I know you're gonna listen to this. You're gonna second guess everything, but stay the course. We love you. Brandy doesn't love you, but we do.
I do too.
I have some love.
Yeah.
I got Mandy love.
That's Longlegs, y'all. Thank you, Brandy, Justin, and Lodge Mistress.
Thank you for coming with us.
Anytime.
Yeah. Is the devil scary? I mean, I just don't know. But anyway, for another time.
You can't do it anymore.
The devil's kind of cool, honestly. I mean, I've bought into the marketing. The devil's fucking rock and roll, and I'm on his team.
That's the final line of Longlegs. Nicolas Cage. Hail Satan.
Oh, God.
And the crowd went mild. Love and light. And Bishke, hope you don't have nightmares tonight.
I'm going to get scared.
Standing across the room, I saw you smile. I said I want to talk to you for a little while. But before I make my move, my emotions start running wild. My tongue gets tied, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Ooh, yeah. And I've got this to say to you. Hey. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Come on. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Push it some more. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. All right. A la 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 long.